Incredible moment, 8-year-old girl exposes billionaire's heartless treatment of her struggling mom in town. Lily stood in the heart of her small, bustling town, her eyes shining like the sun setting on the horizon. With each brushstroke of paint on her mural, she felt the warmth of memories wrapped around her like a beloved blanket. Life had been tough since her father passed away unexpectedly, leaving her and her mom to navigate the world of paychecks and empty dining tables. Her mother worked tirelessly as a waitress, and Lily often lent a hand, eager to lighten the burden. Yet, as the town buzzed with activity, beams of hope flickered dimly beneath the weight of hardship. Every day, the arrival of billionaire Richard Harrington's extravagant restaurant loomed over the familiar streets. Local businesses shuttered, and beloved names vanished like shadows as the rich transformed their town into a playground. With each closure, Lily's heart sank, worried for her neighbors and the families that struggled alongside them. Then came the announcement: the community art competition. It sparked a flicker of inspiration deep inside Lily. Fueled by memories of her father and the fasting resilience of families like hers, she decided to pour her heart into a mural that captured their spirit. With every splash of paint, she poured her love, her hope, and her courage. But as she painted, doubts crept into her mother's eyes. "Do you think he even cares about our story, Lily?" Her mom's voice trembled, weighed down by worry. "Mom, I have to try," Lily replied, fire in her small but fierce heart. Determined, she set out to prove that even the smallest voices matter, even in a world filled with giants. The night of the competition was electric. The town streets buzzed, lights twinkling like stars overhead. Standing nervously beside her mural, Lily could feel the eyes of the crowd on her. Her heart raced as Harrington arrived, the plush fabric of his tailored suit contrasting sharply with the worn jeans of her neighbors. With a glass of champagne in hand, he glanced dismissively at her artwork. "A mess of colors," he scoffed, seeming completely oblivious to the weight of her creation. In that moment, something ignited within Lily. Small and mighty, she faced Harrington, her heart racing like the thumping of drums. "Mr. Harrington," she called out, her little voice slicing through the buzz of the crowd. "Don't you see? This mural isn't just paint, it's our story. It's filled with love, loss, and our fight to survive." Gasps tore through the audience as realization washed over them. Lily, standing there, exposed the truth cloaked under Harrington's empire of riches. Her vulnerability resonated, and murmurs of support surged through the crowd like wildfire. They rallied together, their emotions unfurling like blooming flowers in spring, desperate for anyone to listen. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The crowd swelled behind Lily, their voices merging into an echoing chorus of defiance. Would Harrington, with all his wealth, turn a blind eye? Or could that one innocent voice break through the walls of indifference? Lily felt the electricity in the air, a spark of hope reverberating as she stood tall, her fate intertwining with the townsfolk's fight for justice. What would happen next left her heart pounding, and she wondered, could one small girl truly hold the power to challenge a titan? With her mural gleaming in the evening light and the community behind her, the stage was set for a confrontation that would redefine their town's future. As the air vibrated with energy, Lily could feel the audience's heartbeat in unison with her own. Each flicker of hope in their eyes fueled her courage. She looked up at Harrington, a man of power and privilege, standing there like a brick wall. But beneath the surface, could he really be so heartless? "Why aren't you listening?" she implored, her voice rising above the murmurs. "This mural is the voice of our town. It tells of our struggles, but it also tells of our strength." The words seemed to hang in the air, palpable and potent. The crowd hushed, their attention sharpened, waiting for Harrington's response. A creeping silence enveloped them as he adjusted his grip on the champagne glass, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Young lady," he replied, condescension lacing his tone, "you may think your artwork has depth, but let us not kid ourselves. People come to my restaurant for the entertainment and the food, not to wade through the sorrows of this unfortunate place." A murmur of outrage tore through the crowd. Lily's heart sank momentarily, but she refused to let despair take hold. "You don't even know us. You don't know how hard we've fought to stay afloat," she shouted, her small body trembling with emotion. The truth of her circumstances surged forth, braided with the pain of her neighbors. "Talk to them." Lily pointed to the townsfolk, anxiety and fire igniting in her chest. "They're the people who matter. They're the hard-working ones." Her voice rose higher, echoing slivers of desperation. Then a voice spoke from the back, a familiar one laced with weariness and worry. "Lily's right. We lost our shop to your restaurant, Harrington. How are we supposed to feed our families?" It was Mrs. Thompson, the owner of the local bakery. Her face was a map of struggle and determination, and her words seemed to pierce through the veil of indifference. "With each store that closes, we lose a piece of our community." Another voice chimed in, this time Mr. Davis, the mechanic whose business was now a distant memory. The crowd began to awaken, rallying together, their collective strength rising like a tidal wave. Lily's heart swelled. This was what she wanted, a united front, a chorus of voices that spoke louder than any single one individual could. With each outburst, she added her fervor to their fight. "We are more than just another empty storefront. We have stories, we have families. We are real." For the first time, there was a crack in Harrington's facade. His confident stance faltered, eyes darting among the now unyielding crowd. Beneath the polished exterior, the weight of their words began to chip away at him. But would it be enough? Then, the unexpected happened. A young boy stepped forward, no older than Lily, and stammered, I lost my dad last year, too. And we're poor, but that doesn't mean we don't matter." His voice trembled but rang clear, and the crowd's compassion surged forward. Lily watched the boy, her heart racing. Could they really connect with him? Could they reach that heart buried beneath layers of wealth? The notion filled her with both hope and trepidation. As the tension escalated, she turned back to Harrington, eyes blazing with determination. "You can't keep ignoring us. You can change this town. You have that power. Will you use it for good?" He hesitated, caught between the storm of emotions unfurling before him and the security the riches of his world had always promised. In that moment, everything hung in a delicate balance. Could Lily's fierce resolve genuinely make a difference? As the crowd held its breath, they awaited Harrington's verdict, aware that a turning point was at hand. As the tension thickened, a crack in Harrington's demeanor suggested possibility. But when he opened his mouth to speak, no one expected the words that would follow. "I believe this town has deserved better than I've given it," Harrington finally said, his voice low but clear. The crowd leaned in, eyes wide, straining to catch every syllable. "But it's hard to see what's right in front of you when you're focused on growing your empire." Lily's heart raced as she tried to process his words. Was he actually considering what they had said? She exchanged glances with Mrs. Thompson, whose expression mirrored her own mixture of skepticism and hope. "Let us not kid ourselves here, people," Harrington continued, visibly struggling. "I never thought my restaurant was the enemy. It was just business." He held his glass tighter, knuckles whitening. The echo of the boy's words haunted him now, weaving through his mind. "But maybe there's more to it. Can you help us?" Mrs. Thompson asked, a tremor in her voice. "Can you make things right?" Harrington's eyes traveled over the crowd, taking in the faces that had once blurred with indifference, faces now etched with raw emotion. "I'll consider it," he finally replied, an unexpected sincerity woven into his response. A ripple of murmurs spread through the crowd, a wave of disbelief mingled with slivers of hope and anticipation. "Consider it isn't enough," Lily blurted, her voice tipping into a desperate plea. "We need action. We need your commitment." A rush of bravery surged through her, emboldened by the unwavering support around her. She took a small step forward, unintentionally silencing the crowd. "You have the ability to create change. Isn't that what true leadership is about?" Harrington's gaze softened, and for the first time, she saw a flicker of doubt in his eyes, doubt that perhaps his way of life hadn't solved the problems others faced. The glass slipped from his grasp, a sharp clattering echoing in the now silent room. A sudden realization washed over the crowd: even a man like Harrington was human, with his own doubts and insecurities. Even he could feel the weight of the world pressing down on him when forced to confront the pain he was complicit in. He stammered, his previous bravado cracking. "I don't know what to offer. I've never been in your shoes." Lily took a breath, feeling the urgency of the moment tighten in her chest. "Start by working with us," she urged, the words tumbling out in a rush. "Help us uplift each other. We could create community events, draw in people through art and unity. Let us make your restaurant a hub for local talent. Let us forge something real together." Through the looming silence, Harrington shifted slightly, a flicker of vulnerability breaking through. The tension hung heavily, but there was an undercurrent of possibility. The crowd held its collective breath, sensing they were teetering on the brink of a pivotal moment. "Lily," he hesitated, wrinkling his brow as the weight of the decision hung heavier on his shoulders. "I'll talk to my team. I can't promise anything, but just talk is not enough. We need more than words." Lily pressed, refusing to let him backtrack. Her voice rang out with unyielding conviction. "We deserve more than hollow gestures." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. They had weathered so much, they had fought as a community. Through their voices, they hadn't just made an appeal, they had reshaped the narrative. And yet, as Harrington's deep-set eyes blinked back contemplatively, the moment felt fragile. Despite the glimmers of potential that flickered between them, the burden of the past still loomed heavy. Would he find the courage to push against his own barriers? Suddenly, a crack echoed from the back as an old wooden chair broke under weight, and everyone shifted, breaking the tension as laughter erupted among a few. But in that moment of levity, Lily sensed the heaviness still lingering, a balancing act on the tightrope of change. "Will you allow us the chance to prove ourselves?" Lily challenged again, eyes searching Harrington's for any sign that he would rise to the occasion. The crowd's anticipation was palpable, every heartbeat rimming the air with a fragile hope. As Harrington's mouth opened to reply, he caught the eyes of the young boy who had originally stepped forward. There was a knowing contemplation there, a bond forged through shared struggles. Lily's heart raced. It felt as if everything hinged on this: his commitment, their future, and the town's revival. And just before he spoke, the faint echo of a siren blared in the distance, jarring everyone back into reality. What if that siren was a warning? Would they find the strength to push for what they truly desired, or would they simply fade away into forgotten history? As the silence engulfed them once more, Lily could only hope they wouldn't be the latter. The siren's wail faded, leaving an eerie quiet where tension hung like thick fog. Lily's breath quickened, her thoughts a jumble of hope and fear, and she could feel the weight of every eye upon her. Harrington opened his mouth again, but no words emerged. His expression shifted from contemplation to a tangle of uncertainty. Every moment felt stretched, like the town was holding its breath, waiting. "A hub for local talent?" he finally murmured, his voice softer now, almost distant. "Is that what you really want?" "Yes." The word erupted like a spark igniting a fire. "That's exactly it. We want to come together, to rebuild what's been lost. We can inspire change, we just need your help to facilitate it." Harrington ran a hand through his hair, a gesture filled with frustration. "Do you have any idea how hard that is?" Mrs. Thompson stepped in. No one knows better than us, Harrington. We've faced hard times, but we've never lost our sense of community. We can help each other rise. We believe in this town. Lily felt her heart swell with Mrs. Thompson's passion echoing through the crowd. Hope surged, thick in the air, but there remained the shadow of doubt in Harrington's eyes, a wall he needed to break through. I don't want this to be another failed endeavor, Harrington confessed, his voice barely a whisper. I don't want to fail you or the boy. He gestured slowly toward the young child who had initially stepped forward. The boy smiled back, wide and genuine. His innocence, a stark reminder of the life that bloomed in spite of obstacles. A heartstrings moment. Then don't fail us, Lily urged. Be the leader you were meant to be. Let us create something beautiful. A silence fell over the gathering as Harrington's expression shifted from anxiety to contemplation. He chewed his lip, clearly grappling with his inner turmoil. I can't promise change overnight, he finally said, choking on the admission. But I can promise to talk to the team, to discuss our options. Together, if a flicker of excitement rose, but Lily couldn't let him off the hook completely. Together means action. No more hesitation. In that instant, there was a shift in the atmosphere, an electric current buzzing through the crowd. Something about Harrington's words hinted at the potential for real change. But then, something shifted in the back of her mind, a nagging doubt. Hadn't they tried this before? How many times had words been spoken without substance? The scars of broken promises were etched deep in their hearts, but the flicker of hope was still brighter than any doubt. Let us plan a meeting, Mrs. Thompson suggested, energizing the crowd. An idea can transform. We'll bring artists, musicians, anyone who can contribute to this vision. We'll flood your restaurant with creativity, life. The buzz of agreement rippled through the crowd like a warm wave, washing away any lingering uncertainty. The tension began to dissolve, replaced by something more hopeful, more alive. Lily noticed the young boy's eyes reflecting the yearning for a better tomorrow. It was contagious. If Harrington could see what the community saw, the strength, the spirit, it might pull him from the shadows of his past. But then, just as hope seemed to settle into the air, a loud crash shattered the moment. A window of Harrington's restaurant had cracked under a sudden gust of wind. Glass tumbled, clattering against the floor, every clink silencing the room once more. Lily gasped as an unexpected fear crept in. What does this mean? Suddenly, the voices began to rise again, though now they carried a tinge of uncertainty. What if this change wasn't as simple as they hoped? What if Harrington's commitment was nothing more than another dream that could shatter as easily as the glass? As Harrington's gaze fell upon the scattered shards, another thick silence settled in. Would he let those pieces define their future, or pick them up and build upon this newfound moment? Her heart pounded, waiting for an answer, as she realized it was not just about them anymore. It was about growth, trust, and the willingness to stand together. Will Harrington step beyond his fears, or will the town's hopes be left to gather dust, like broken glass underfoot? As the question hung in the air, Lily knew they were closer, yet still a long way from the change they desperately needed. Harrington stood frozen, his gaze locked on the shattered glass, a physical manifestation of his fears. The crowd had fallen mute again, the energy deflating faster than a punctured balloon. Lily's heart raced as she felt the tension intensify. She took a step closer to him, her voice low but firm. It begins right now, Harrington. Don't let this moment crush us. The boy, still clutching his mother's hand, gazed up at Harrington with wide eyes filled with faith, as if believing that this very man could restore their community. Harrington's chest rose and fell slowly, his internal battle scripted in the lines of his brow. He finally uttered, but stopped, losing his words to a tide of conflicting emotions. It's so daunting, he confessed. I know it is, Lily replied, her voice gaining strength. But nothing worthwhile ever came easy. Look at how we came together today. That's the start we need. The clinking of glass against wood reverberated in the silence, drawing Harrington's attention back to reality. He shifted his weight, the tension in his shoulders easing just a fraction. A hub, he repeated softly, as if testing the weight of the idea again. It could be something if we can find a way. Together, Lily emphasized, gesturing to the crowd around them, slowly re-energized by her words. They won't let you fail. Mrs. Thompson moved closer, her warm smile slicing through the uncertainty. We believe in this town. We believe in you, Harrington. There's magic in community. Just then, the boy broke the spell. Can I draw? I want to draw a picture of our new place. With music and all. His eyes sparkled with hope, and everyone chuckled softly, even Harrington. Absolutely. Lily beamed down at him. You'll be our first artist. Harrington finally took a deep breath, raising his eyes to meet the collective gaze of the crowd. All right, I'm in, he declared, voice rising. Let's meet next week and start brainstorming. I'll reach out to some local artists and musicians. We'll set a date. Cheers erupted around them, a wave of relief washing over the gathered townsfolk. They embraced each other, some already discussing ideas and plans. In that moment, pieces of their shattered dreams began to reassemble, but as the buzz grew, Lily felt a nagging worry settle in the pit of her stomach. What would happen if Harrington faltered? What if reality hit harder than they anticipated? Harrington turned to her, catching the fleeting doubt that flickered across her face. We'll need everyone involved. I mean the true heart of our town, he said, eyes serious but glowing with a new determination. That's non-negotiable. And we'll be right here, she assured him, energy surging through her as she grappled with her own uncertainty, clinging to the hope they had kindled. On the outside, the sun broke through the heavy clouds, casting a gentle light across Harrington's restaurant, illuminating the shards of glass scattered around like miniature stars. This is just the beginning, he said. I want to see what we can do when we join forces, when we trust each other. As the crowd slowly dispersed, excitement pinging off every face, Lily found herself lingering behind. She glanced back at Harrington, who already seemed caught up in thought. Then, she leapt with surprise as something caught her attention. A gust of wind swept through, swirling the glass pieces. Suddenly, one sharp shard glinted in the sunlight, and for a fleeting second, it looked almost beautiful. What if change didn't just come from rebuilding? What if they could turn the broken pieces into something entirely new? A fire ignited in her chest. There was more to explore, more to uncover. She could feel it. As Lily stepped away, purpose swelling within her, a thought struck hard. How far would they be willing to go? What sacrifices would they need to make to see their dreams turn from fragile visions into tangible reality? The chill of uncertainty washed over her once more. If this was the beginning, what else lay ahead? Would they have the strength to face what came next? And as those questions lingered, a moment of stillness reminded her that the journey was just beginning. The following week arrived with a blend of excitement and nervous energy thrumming through the town. As the sun peeked over the horizon, Lily found herself pacing outside Harrington's restaurant, a sea of vibrant flyers fluttering in her hands, each one advertising their first community meeting. Lily. Harrington's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back into the moment. He stepped outside, his usual crisp chef's apron replaced with a casual t-shirt and jeans. A warm smile lit up his face, though shadows of uncertainty creased his brow. Is it time already? She nodded, her own heart racing. Just about. I'm a little anxious, how about you? Same here, he admitted, chuckling softly. But we can't let that show. Just remember, it's all about connecting with our people. We're in this together. Their combined energy seemed to ripple through the air as they entered the restaurant. Inside, chairs were arranged in a circle, colorful banners and art supplies set up on tables around the room. The aroma of coffee permeated the space, inviting and warm. As people began filing in, carrying hope alongside their coffee cups and snacks. Lily quickly recognized familiar faces: Mrs. Thompson bustling with baked goods, a few teens dragging in instruments, and that little boy from the previous meeting, a sketchbook tucked under his arm. "Lily! Look!" he exclaimed, bouncing on his toes as he opened his book to reveal an imaginative landscape filled with dancers and musicians. "This is what I want to see in our hub." "Wow!" Lily knelt beside him, her heart swelling. "This is awesome. You've captured the spirit of what we're building here." As people gathered around, settling into their seats, Harrington stepped forward, bringing attention back to him. "Thank you all for being here. Today marks the first step towards creating something truly special, something that represents us, a community hub. Let us share our ideas openly." But Lily could see the flicker of fear beneath their enthusiasm. Would they be able to match Harrington's expectations? Would they really come together to make something that mattered? One after another, voices chimed in, ideas pouring forth. Some envisioned an art gallery, while others spoke about an open mic night and food festivals. The boy raised his hand excitedly. "Can we have a place for everyone to paint? And a spot for music?" "Absolutely." Harrington responded, laughter and excitement casting away any lingering doubts. The momentum swelled, and Lily felt lighter. Every shared dream seemed to erase a part of the old despair that had hung over them, yet, as the meeting progressed, another whisper of uncertainty curled back into her mind. She caught sight of a few more reserved faces in the back, crossed arms and doubtful expressions. What if their ideas fell flat? What if others didn't believe in this like they did? As more discussions unfolded, Lily stepped aside to gather her thoughts. She needed clarity, and a moment alone felt essential. "Lily." Harrington's voice drifted over. "Join us. We want to hear your thoughts." The plea pulled her back into the warmth of the gathering. Yet as the words escaped her lips, she bravely voiced her concerns about inclusivity, the importance of making sure everyone in town felt represented and involved. "I just want to ensure that we create something that truly belongs to all of us," she said, her heart racing. "What about those who haven't spoken up?" Harrington nodded, considering her words. "You're right. We need to invite everyone, even those who might be shy or unsure. How can we reach them?" Lily sensed the collective shift as the crowd leaned in, and it felt monumental. Each idea built on another, and hope shimmered just within reach, but as the sun dipped lower, turning the room golden, a sudden thought jolted through her. What if they stumbled at the first hurdle? What would they do when faced with their first real challenge? Sitting in the swell of excitement and worry, she clenched her hands, unsure. Would they be able to rally again when adversity struck? The air thickened with anticipation, and her heart thrummed faster. In that moment, she realized the path ahead was not only about building a physical space but also about fortifying their shared spirit. What would be necessary to keep that fire burning bright when things got tough? And then, as she glanced around the room, she wondered if their collective strength would be enough to weather the storms that lay ahead. Would they rise together, or would the pressure of reality shatter their dreams once more? The next morning, the sun cast a soft glow through the window of Lily's small kitchen. She stirred her coffee absent-mindedly, the steam curling up like her unease. The meeting had flickered inside her mind all night, every voice dancing around like fireflies. But as the day broke, doubt crept back in. Could they really capture that moment of magic and turn it into something solid? Stepping outside, a cool breeze greeted her. Along the street, neighbors were already out, their morning routine unfolding. She waved at Mr. Wilson, who was raking leaves, and Mrs. Delaney, tending to her flower beds. Each person's little slice of life struck something deep in Lily. They all had dreams, just like her, and their community was built on those dreams coming together. That thought lingered as she made her way to Harrington's restaurant. When she arrived, the kitchen was buzzing with activity. Harrington and his staff were prepping the day's specials. The warmth of the restaurant enveloped her, and she felt a flicker of hope. "Hey, you made it. Harrington called, wiping his hands on a towel. His smile was contagious, and for a moment, Lily felt lighter. I was just thinking about today's meeting. How do you feel about it? I'm still excited, but I can't shake off this worry, Lily admitted, fidgeting with her fingers. What if we can't keep the momentum going? What if people start to doubt? Harrington nodded, understanding resting in his gaze. It's normal to feel that way. But remember, great things take time. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about getting people involved and keeping the conversation alive. His words settled over her like a warm blanket, reminding her how pivotal their next steps would be. As they prepared the restaurant, the shiny silver pots and pans reflected their determination. Just shortly after opening, a crowd began to gather inside. Some were regulars, while others had come out of curiosity. The buzz of voices filled the room, people exchanging ideas and hopes. Lily took a deep breath, feeling the energy pool around her. Can we have a mural? One of the teens piped up. Something that tells our story. Or a community garden. Another suggested. We could grow vegetables together. Lily's heart soared with every suggestion, the exhilarating rush of ideas flowing through the crowd. Yet, as each new proposal stacked on top of another, she felt a slight tug in her heart. Everything they shared was beautiful, yet the shadow of doubt lurked as more voices were raised. Glancing around, she noted the quieter ones, spinning their coffee cups and staring into their laps. Was that hesitation in their eyes, or something deeper? The ache for inclusivity stirred within her again. She needed to address it. Hey, everybody. Her voice rose above the hum, drawing their attention. These ideas are amazing, but let us not forget to include everyone. Some might not feel comfortable sharing. How can we invite them in? A moment of silence fell before someone from the back spoke. Maybe we could have smaller gatherings? Yes. Lily exclaimed, encouraged. Different groups or workshops could help those who are shy. Let us create a space for everyone, even if it's just one-on-one chats. The conversation shifted, and ideas began to melt. Community potlucks, storytelling nights, even art sessions where people could share something personal. Lily felt a spark ignite within her. This was what they needed, paths to connect, deeper than just ideas. But just as hope began to swell, she caught sight of a familiar face in the doorway, her old friend, Jake, who had distanced himself since they were kids. His expression was uncertain, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Hey, Jake. You're welcome to join us. Lily called, heart racing. As his eyes met hers, a flicker of recognition shone through the uncertainty. Would he step into their vision, or would he hold back? Like so many others, the room held its breath, tension hanging in the air. What would he decide? Would he become part of this new chapter or slip away, leaving another gap in their fragile dreams? This moment felt pivotal, as if the very fabric of their community could shift based on his next move. Jake hesitated, his foot barely crossing the threshold. Lily watched him intently, her heart thumping louder with every second that passed. The ambience of the room shifted under the weight of his indecision. Collected expressions turned hopeful, mouths set in soft smiles, brimming with anticipation. Would he remember their laughter? The mischief of childhood days? Lily, he started, voice low and hesitant, as if the sound itself might frighten him away. Come on, Jake. Harrington chimed in, breaking the spell of silence. You're just in time. We're brainstorming ideas for our community. Your voice matters. Taking a deep breath, Jake stepped further inside. The subtle hint of relief washed over Lily at his movement. She could see the tension in his shoulders soften slightly, but she also noticed the clouds of hesitation still hanging about him. Thanks, he mumbled, scratching the back of his head. It wasn't a full victory yet, but it was a tiny breakthrough. Lily's mind raced with possibilities for what this reunion could mean. As Jake slid into the circle of chairs, a tangible energy shifted among them. Discussions blossomed again, ideas ricocheting from one person to another. The laughter rang out, intermingled with shouts of agreement and the occasional "I love that idea." But amidst the cheerful chaos, Jake remained quiet. Lily caught his eye and nodded, urging him to join in. "What do you think, Jake? Any ideas?" His gaze flickered around the crowded room, taking in the warmth, the openness, the community forming right before him. He fiddled with a paper coffee cup, the flush creeping across his cheeks. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was thinking maybe we could do something for the kids. Like a book club or a workshop." "Absolutely!" Lily exclaimed, her spirit lifting at the thought. "That's perfect. We need to get the younger ones involved in a fun way. Maybe even a reading corner in the community garden." Jake smiled ever so slightly, encouraged by the spark in Lily's eyes, and the room erupted with her enthusiasm. But even as the group thundered ahead, he wore a familiar shadow of uncertainty. It tugged at Lily, a reminder that their path forward wouldn't just be paved with bright ideas, it would also need to acknowledge the fears and insecurities lingering just beneath the surface. As conversations carried on, she felt a compelling urge to check in with him. In a fleeting moment, she leaned closer, her voice low yet sincere. "Jake, it's okay to share your thoughts. We're all nervous too. You're not alone." He looked up at her, his vulnerability on full display. I want to help, but what if it's not enough? What if I forget how?" Lily's heart ached for him. "You already have a voice," she whispered, "and that's what matters. It's not about being perfect, it's about being here, right now. Let us learn from each other." His features softened, a flicker of hope igniting within him. Just then, a voice from the back chimed in, breaking the moment. "What about a talent show? Everyone can showcase something: art, music, poetry." The room burst alive again, every idea flying to the forefront. Yet, in the whirlwind of laughter and creativity, Lily felt an unsettling chill. She turned to Jake, only to find him staring down, a storm cloud overtaking his expression. "Are you all right?" she asked gently. He met her eyes, a silent moment passing between them, a weight that felt heavier than before. The energy was electric, but beneath it lay an unspoken fear. What if bringing everyone together meant confronting shadows better left in the past? Lily's breath caught in her throat. How would they really reach everyone? Each story, each wound. As she mulled over her thoughts, the noise of the restaurant began to fade, replaced by the pounding of her heart. Would Jake confront what had kept him distant, or would he pull away again, taking a small part of their community's soul with him this time? The air thickened with anticipation, and just as Jake opened his mouth to speak, the door swung open again, and in stepped a figure that made everyone pause. The familiar smell of fresh bread met the air, mixed with an undercurrent of tension. Who was it this time, and what did their arrival mean for their fragile circle? The moment hung in the air like a taut string, everyone's attention redirected toward the person entering. A chill snaked down Lily's spine as she tried to make out the figure just beyond the door. The rosy light of the setting sun painted a warm glow around a girl, no older than 8, standing there wide-eyed and bewildered, clutching a small bag of bread in one hand. "Hi. I'm Mia," she announced, her voice surprisingly steady for such a small frame. Lily's heart melted instantly. Mia wasn't just a child, she was a bridge between their dreams and reality. As the murmurs in the room began to dissipate, Jake's gaze remained fixed on Mia, an unreadable expression flitting across his face. The tension was palpable, and it felt as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. "I made these to share," Mia said, bouncing on her toes. She dropped her bag onto the nearest table, unleashing a small assortment of steaming bread rolls. "I thought everyone could use a snack while talking." The way her eyes sparkled with innocence and excitement drew a soft smile from Jake. For just a moment, the clouds that had loomed above him seemed to part. The adults around the room chuckled, the sound lighter now. "That's wonderful, Mia. You've just made our meeting even better. Harrington said, a warm grin spreading across his face. Thanks. She exclaimed, moving closer to the circle. Suddenly, she paused, gazing up at Jake. Are you going to help us too? You seem like you want to. Caught off guard, Jake looked down at her. Yeah. I guess. I mean, his voice trailed off, and with a nudge from Lily's encouraging smile, he continued, I want to help with the kids program. Yay. That's so cool. Mia clapped her hands in delight, her giggles fueling the atmosphere. The group around the table seemed to explode with renewed energy, their laughter mingling with Mia's. Yet underneath the cheerful facade, Lily could see Jake was still wrestling with unseen demons. The flicker in his eyes dimmed again, replaced by a troubled shadow. The juxtaposition of Mia's innocent enthusiasm and Jake's hidden fears tugged at her heartstrings. With a sigh, she reached over and touched his arm. You got this, Jake. Mia needs you, and I believe you can do it. Do you really think so? He asked, vulnerability spilling forth, his blue eyes searching for truth amidst the noise. Yes, she affirmed, her voice firm yet gentle. If we're going to pull this community together, it starts with genuine connection. Just take it one step at a time. As Jake appeared to ponder her words, Mia stood nearby, blissfully unaware of all the heaviness that surrounded her. She busied herself arranging the bread rolls, finally grabbing everyone's attention back to her little offering. Who wants to try some? I made extra. The group erupted with laughter again, easing Jake into the fold. Yet, as Lily watched him, a knot tightened in her stomach. Just then, another figure entered the door, shadowed and tensed. Voices hushed, and the excitement faded instantly. The newcomer's face was unreadable, but the energy shifted dramatically. Jake's gaze flicked nervously to Lily, the earlier uncertainty now shadowed by fear. Oh, Mia whispered, wide-eyed again. Is that? Lily held her breath. She knew what this could mean, and it terrified her. Would this new arrival engage with the community or tear it apart? Would Jake find the strength to confront his past, or would he retreat, leaving behind another chance at healing? As eyes fixed on the newcomer, Lily felt a storm brewing, not just for Jake, but for all of them. The moment of truth was drawing near, but would they embrace the chaos together, or succumb to their fears? The tension hung thick in the air, every eye glued to the doorway where the newcomer stood. The familiar face sent ripples of unease through the crowd. It was Stephen, Jake's older brother. The quiet spirit that usually characterized the room instantly shifted to an edge of uncertainty, a taut string waiting to snap. Jake stiffened beside Lily, his earlier enthusiasm draining away, replaced by the weight of his brother's presence. What's he doing here? He muttered, trying to hide the flicker of fear in his voice. Let's just see what he wants, okay? Lily whispered, a tinge of reassurance lacing her words. She understood how complicated family ties could be and that the past had a way of casting long shadows on the present. Hey, everyone, Stephen spoke, his voice steady but lacking the warmth anyone might hope for. I came because, well, I heard about this meeting. Thought maybe I'd check it out. His eyes scanned the room, lingering on Jake, who now seemed to shrink into himself, the tension around them palpable. Mia, unaware of the storm brewing, beamed up at Stephen. We're building a community hub. You should help us. Her innocent enthusiasm was like sunlight breaking through clouds, but it didn't seem to lift the heaviness that clung to Jake. Yeah, we need people to help with ideas and programs for the kids, Lily jumped in, trying to create space for a connection. It's all about making this neighborhood better. But what do you know about running anything? Stephen's words sliced through the air. It was unapologetic and harsh. The air shifted again towards discomfort, the lightness of laughter snuffed out by an uninvited reminder of their past. Enough. Jake's voice rose, steadying himself as his emotions boiled over. You can't come back now and throw shade on our plans, Stephen. I'm doing this for myself, for Mia and our neighbors. The room fell completely still. What's that supposed to mean? Stephen shot back, his brow furrowing, but Jake wasn't backing down this time. The weight of unspoken years lay heavily between them, but Jake was tired of letting it suffocate him. It means I want to try. He shouted, eyes blazing with the truth he had buried for too long. I want to help build something good instead of living in the shadows of mistakes we've all made. We're not kids anymore. We can change. With every beat, Lily's heart raced in time with Jake's growing confidence. It was time for them to break away from the past holding them prisoner. Everyone deserves to try, right? Lily added, her own voice firm and clear. If you don't step up, how can you even think to judge anyone else? She glanced back at the others. They were nodding in agreement, drawing strength from each other. At that moment, something shifted in the air. It felt electric, awakening lost spirits in the room. The audience was on Jake's side, pulling for him to embrace the light instead of retreating into the shadows once more. Why don't we start together? Mia suggested sweetly, casting her gaze between the brothers. Like a team. A flicker of doubt crossed Stephen's face, as if the sincerity of a child's plea cracked through years of coldness. It took Jake's courage to tear down those walls. I know you're angry, Jake said softly, the fight ebbing, replaced by something more vulnerable, but fighting against each other isn't going to fix anything. Let us be better. Together. We all need this. Their eyes met, two boys raised side by side, one bearing the weight of expectations crushing him down and another attempting to rise. Lily held her breath, waiting for the reaction she had prayed for. As Stephen's jaw tightened, he seemed to wrestle with the turmoil of his past and the future lying before him. After a long silence, Stephen stepped forward hesitantly. Okay. I'll help. The admission felt like unearthing a hidden path, a bridge reconnecting what had been frayed. Cheers erupted around them, the atmosphere lifted once again into gentle celebration. Jake's face illuminated with relief and surprise tinged with joy. Mia clapped her hands, bouncing on her toes, her laughter filling every corner of the room. Yay, team! She exclaimed, innocently brandishing her bag of bread rolls. In that moment, laughter erupted more freely, the tension easing into giggles and playful teasing. Their minds turned to the excitement of upcoming events, the formation of true connections that spanned beyond disagreements. Let us plant a garden and create art that tells our stories, Lily declared, her heart glowing brighter with each passing moment. We can make something that unites us all. From the corner of her vision, she caught Stephen's gaze landing on Jake, and for the first time in a while, a flicker of brotherly camaraderie preceded hope. Healing began, not neat or tidy, but raw and real, like the music they would create together. Lily felt a wave of warmth wash over her, a connection rediscovered, and she calculated how far they could truly go if they chose this path. Today was a gift, a day of rebirth, a chance to embrace forgiveness, and a determination for all. As the meeting wrapped into raucous chatter about plans and ideas, one thing became clear: nothing was impossible when people came together, opened their hearts, and fought for a better tomorrow. At that moment, Lily realized their journey was only just beginning, and that, amidst laughter and dreams, they possessed the magic of community, the power to rewrite their own story. So, if you felt the shift, the spark that ignites hope and connection, here's your chance to share in this transformative journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that touch your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let these uplifting tales blossom. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. Together, we create community. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now, because this is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share this story.